Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we are checking out 17's Bad Influence, the uncensored version, because I'm an adult and they're adults and I can't monetize this video anyway, so if the YouTube gods get mad, not my circus. But I feel like with a name like Bad Influence, you gotta just lean into it, right? Like, you've gotta just fully embody that bad boy image. And considering what we got in Thunder, I think it really fits into what they're going with, right? With this dare and stepping outside of what's normal, this almost like darker, more like anti-hero or almost like villain story to what they're going for in terms of what we got leading into with the teasers, right? Leading into getting the actual releases. I'm interested now to see what we're going to be doing. If anything else, it's going to be, we're going to get some cussing, which is always a bit of a fun ride. We haven't even started yet and Dino's apparently already cussing, which it doesn't shock me that it's Dino. But at least they're very, hey, this is what you're getting into. All right. Ooh. Interesting, like synth. Okay, first off, really interesting synth and this like stutter, that like good again. We had a little bit of that in Thunder, like this little like glitching sound, which I think is interesting, especially since again in the Thunder music video, we had almost the computer characters were like animated, right? So there's like these 3D models of like creatures and like the world that we were in, which I also think is interesting. There's almost this digital feeling, or I don't know, being inside of like a digital world of some kind, maybe with the, again, like Thunder, but also the like, electric shock. Interesting, trippy. Very like conversational level in their voice too. No, lyrics wise, but I love again this kind of like jittery, very again in that talking zone, Vernon getting a little bit in a higher range, and love the scene and then like fade transition in a scene, and then be like the section everyone's talking about, like again bringing in all of this kind of film imagery into it as well. That's fun. The like vocals in the back too, like not Wanu's but the layers. Ooh, okay, first off, I was not ready for DK to just, but you know what? Fine. Gorgeous vocals there. I love getting the kind of like upper harmony. It looked like we were getting from like Joshua, but also it's overlapping. It's also like glitchy and stuff, right? Like having these two voices at the same time. So that's just me, right? Because hi, neurodivergent. You put multiple sounds over top of each other and my brain's like, we can't compute that. One sound at a time, please. Part of the reason I check out lyric videos first is because my brain's like, we can't look at something and listen at the same time. That's too much work. But like having those two sounds over each other also feel robotic, right? Like again, the way that they're choosing it is very much leaning into the electronic sound that we're getting from the production, which is really interesting. Yeah, the like upper part. Put a little vocal run in there, it was just good. Ooh, little harmony. Ooh, okay, I love that as we're getting into the later stuff, like we got into that one section where we had like Joshua in like the higher part, it sounded like, or that's what it's telling me. I'm trying to like also listen, I know their voices pretty well, but it's the delivery is like a bit different from their normal ones, so trying to get all of the voices distinctly separated is a little bit tricky too. But I love that we're getting different sounds from them. We got that thunder where I was like, I wouldn't have expected like that kind of sound from this member, so I like that they're switching up how they're going about their vocals and stepping outside of those expectations. Same thing with here, getting like a little bit more of that robotic delivery, but then in the second part, once we got some of those higher parts, some of those harmonies coming in, it kind of breaks out of that a little bit. There's a little bit more of a vocal melody once we get this like I want to have a good time like repetition from the members. I was thinking with Mingyu specifically because we had him previously, and so it stuck out to me that he's like having a different delivery in his voice going into the second one. Could have also missed that other people were also doing things, but this is first listen. I'm just doing my best with what I have. Love the little vocal run that we got from Wano as well. Just I love me a Wano vocal anyway. Biased, yes. There's more like air to his voice. Ooh, okay, I wanted to talk about some of the lyrics. Like, I feel like what we're getting from this was like, I don't want it. I'm thinking of bad influence versus good influence, right? So wanting to be like an idol, like the image of that, right? Where it's very polished. It's very much like you don't cuss and you don't talk about certain things. And like, you're very much need to have polished, very censored in a lot of ways way of presenting yourself. And I feel like for 17, especially going back to how they debuted in a lot of their earlier music of how they built up what their image was going to be, definitely very different from what we're getting with this release or any of the darker concepts that we've gotten over the years. There's a reason that Dark Teen had the impact that it did, right? Like that we all had a very memorable moment of when we got to that in their discography, because it's very different from a lot of their other stuff, which is like fun and upbeat and bright and a bit of like campiness to a bunch of their music too, right? There's a reason that we also say that they're like the theater kids of K-pop, right? So I think that that's also interesting to bring into this of saying we want to be a bad influence, if we don't want to censor ourselves or filter ourselves or change the way that we're behaving just because we need to be like a certain image or like fit into a certain thing, right? And 17 is definitely one of the groups that has talked multiple times about the relationship that they want to have with fans and being like, hey, we don't want to be that much in control of who you are, like how your life is, right? Like you should live your life yourself, and like you should figure out who you are for yourself regardless of what we want. Like you can enjoy our music, you can find solace and connection in our music, right? Like you can use that to like connect with other people and make friends or whatever, right? Like you can enjoy it, but it shouldn't be like the center of who you are. So I think that that's also interesting, and having the you get frustrated, call me stuck up, right? Like I'm polishing myself to fit a certain image, and it frustrates people because it's you can tell when someone's not being genuine, right? And then once you bring the plug up, like saying, hey, once you like take out the kind of thing that's blocking all this that I'm keeping locked up inside, right? That's the stuff that I'm like keeping back so that it doesn't show up on the outside. Suddenly you have a very different image of me, right? I love the production pulling out too. I don't need that vocal fry from Vernon. Beautiful, like, harmonies. Joshua, please. Okay, I'm having a problem. Look, I talked about it in previous things from this comeback. I'm like, I'm having a Joshua moment. He's a problem. I don't know what's happening. I've had issues with Joshua in the past, but has never been quite like this in a while, right? And the problem is that now I'm going back and I'm rewatching like old music videos and stuff. And now Joshua's a problem in videos where he was like a wrecker, but wasn't like a problem. And I don't know what to do with that because I'm too far into the game of being a carrot for Joshua to suddenly become a problem, all right? So I need him to back up and not come in after we pulled out a bunch of the production. That all to say, I like that this is very different from other stuff. And I also think that's interesting that we're getting like bad influence and then good time, right? So good versus bad and that, but also like influence versus time. Interesting concept as well, but also saying, hey, I just want to have fun. I just want to be able to let myself like relax and have fun and be myself and not have to worry about like, how do I filter myself properly? Because I understand that I am a public facing figure and people are going to have a certain image of me or a certain expectation of me, or people are going to use me as a role model, right? An idol is someone that you look up to specifically, right? Like the word idol being used in the K-pop industry is like pretty descriptive of what their role is. So I think that's also interesting to have a bunch of those different concepts mixed into the imagery as well. So like Ordinary. I love all the harmonies coming in.
And I had time to think about it. It's too much bullshit that's around it. I don't want it at all.
Yeah, saying like there's too much around being a good influence. There's too much baggage. Ooh, I hear that ad-lib.
Good time.
Oof, very interesting. Production choices, interesting like vocal delivery from them, interesting for them to bring some of those images into this specific comeback, right? I was like, oh, I very much feel like we're exploring a different side to them, right? Like they're going to dare to do something outside of their comfort zone or outside of what people expect of them and taking a leap of faith. And even with like Thunder, I'm like, this sounds very different from anything else that we've gotten from them. And even just choosing who's going to have what kind of vocal delivery and how it's going to fit into the song was all very different from what I had gotten used to with 17. It very much feels like they're, again, stepping into a bit of a villain role or like a Frankenstein's monster or whatever. There's lots of like post and interesting production and almost like this robotic delivery to the way that they're performing, but also these like gorgeous harmony moments, and of course going for the cuss words, because why not? We need to like have a conversation if you think that these group of full-grown men have never cussed before. And not only can I prove you wrong, because boy do we have instances in which some of the tongue has showed us that they do in fact cuss. Again, all adults, I'm sure that they cuss, and I'm sure that they have been to a party before, have had a drink, have had a fun time out, right? I've been up at 4 a.m. just because they were having a fun time, right? And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's okay, even though, again, idol image being what it is, it's no, they've never done anything like that. They are like innocent and pure and whatever, right? So I love kind of them leaning into a bunch of that. And yeah, they've been in the music game for a long time, right? They've been able to last this long, and they definitely have a lot of popularity to back them up. They can start to take a few more risks with what they're doing. Not that they've never done that before, right? Not that they've never stepped outside of what we had expected from them or what was necessarily within the kind of idol box. But I like getting to see that they're still stepping outside of the comfort zone, right? For them and for fans, and exploring different things. Even like in Thunder, we had the almost death rebirth thing. So it's almost like they're like, hey, we're going to leave what you thought 17 was at the door and we're going to do something else. We got a club sound with Thunder, so getting something else that's like bad influence and like I want to have a good time definitely fits in with that. I'm a little bit scared about this music video though. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of looks in it, and I just don't know if I'm strong enough. Yeah, I'm worried about this music video. I know I'm not the strongest warrior. All right, fine.
And I had time to think about it. It's too much bullshit that's around it. I don't want it at all.
Look, I didn't want to interrupt. I was gonna let it play through. Blonde June is a lot for you to throw me anyway. Is that Boo? No, you can't do this to me, okay? I already have a soft spot for Sungkwan. Don't do this to me. I don't even want to. I do not look at me, all right? Don't do that. Your face is almost entirely in shadow, and I still need you to back up. The lean is unnecessary as well. Sir, I'm supposed to be able to breathe. Air is important for, like, human life. It's a lot for you to be all up in my face, okay? Do not lean at me, Vernon, sir. That's a lot. That's a lot for you to just throw at me, like, 3 seconds in, right? That's a lot. I just got here. Dang. It was Minghao at the beginning, wasn't it? Oh my God. Joshua. Sorry. Mingyu came on the screen and I forgot how to be a person, but also Joshua. Dang it, he's a problem. Just hang on. This hairstyle on Dino also. I don't like the flashing. Hey, it's little robot dogs like we had in Maestro, which I was just thinking with the like circle of people walking. I get that it's almost like the like film thing, but I was like, oh, we had the like walking in a circle around Joshua in Maestro as well. Cars again, like in Thunder. Oh my God, Mingyu. Oh my, I can't escape him. I knew this was gonna be like kind of like a fashion show. Do we just have the lyrics? Yeah, that's fun though with the phone, the print or whatever. Look, there's gonna be science if you don't like pausing or rewinding. Plugging it to the like good. It's a lot. Like go round. Boy. No, do not smile. I like that Vernon looks distressed and Dino's like, woo! Considering how many cars y'all have crashed in your music videos, I would also be worried. Oh my God. I was recovering from Dino's cute smile and then June was like, hang on a second. It's a lot for you just throwing me. Dino, leave me alone. Oh my God, Minkow. Again, I love the like plugging into like the lyrics really good and then only fun. Ooh, that's a cool with the mirror. Oh my God. Hang on. Boo Sung-kwan. Leave me alone. Interesting image though, with the like red mannequin heads. Almost looks like they're blindfolded. The mirror is cool. It's cool aesthetic. It's just, there's a lot. Oh my God, Dino. Ooh, Lost. Maybe the checklist. Also said Lost. Bad. Oh my God. Boy, don't groove. 17. Interesting to have the list as well, and it was like a bunch of check marks, and then it was just bad. What's missing is just the bad, I guess. Because Lost had, right? Sad as well. Yeah, okay, we're doing this because Wanu's part. I was wondering if he's gonna be in this. I assume not. The like negatives, the photos. I'm sorry. Okay, June, also you, but that's a lot. That's a lot for you to just sprinkle in the middle of this video. Wow. My God, Jonah. Every angle, right? From find a flaw. Oh my God, sir. Oh my God, what? Okay, first off, do not raise your eyebrows at me like that. Why are we hanging upside down? I'm talking about luck. Oh my God, sir. We escaped. Broken glass as well. Whoa. Oh my my god. Oh my god. Okay, I don't like the flashing lights, just sensory things. But oh my god, Joshua, leave me alone. All of you leave me alone. But I think it's interesting to have this like walking around one because like I understand that part of this is just like fashion stuff, but also the going around or just walking around. And I think it's also interesting to have this be very like fashion influenced given the song, right? Which is I'm gonna look a certain way. People are gonna have like certain expectations, right? So there is like a certain like visual element that they're bringing into the music video to go along with those lyrics of are you going to pay attention to who they are as people or what they're talking about? Or are you going to focus on like how they look and what like the external version of them is instead of what is like actually going on, and like maybe leaning into a bit more of a more grunge inspired with some of the like safety pins and all that kind of stuff, like alternative style stuff being incorporated into their styling, but still like high fashion, right? So that's different from like actual kind of like streetwear or goth kind of stuff or grunge stuff, right? Like they're taking bits of that but make it high fashion, so there's still like a certain polish to the look. For honestly though, like what it's giving Hanging Man, and I don't know if that's part of this as well. New perspective if it is Hanging Man, feeling stuck. We have had tarot imagery in their other stuff. Oh, are we moshing? Whoa, that was cool with the photos. Ooh. Okay, first off, I like that we have the like picture with all the different layers. So like when you like turn, when they're all like lined up, right? It has a bit of an optical illusion to it. But then the like bad influence and they all have the spotlight on them. I think that's really interesting, right? Of being like, hey, suddenly since you're doing another angle to it is like, hey, even though you're doing things that are very like what an average person would do, right? Like I was saying, hey, maybe they have you done X, Y, and Z. They probably have. They're like full-grown adults and humans, so probably. But because they're idols, suddenly they're a bad influence. Like suddenly it's something to judge them for. Suddenly it's something to put under a microscope and examine. Whereas if they were just like an average person, we would be like, oh, whatever. Oh, you've gone to a party before? Yeah. Oh, you've had a drink? Yeah. The rest of us are like, that's would be really weird for you to feel like you had to like confess that you had done that, or God forbid, publicly apologize. Some of the things idols have made public apologies for, I'm like, huh? Doing like average normal things, suddenly they're a bad influence because they're supposed to be an idol. They're supposed to have a certain image. They're supposed to be a certain kind of person. Whereas if they were just an average person but you didn't know the name of, it wouldn't matter that much. So the fact that they have the spotlight and that bad influence, love it. Don't look at me like that, Vernon. Whoa, the like film, like getting tied up in it. Like being filmed, being watched. Oh, so that is what we're doing, huh? It's not even well lit and I'm offended. He doesn't have to look that good. Look, is this because I was talking about how I having a problem with Joshua and he was just like, hang on, I can give him a run for his money? I know. Jesus, I can't escape him. My God, sir. Joshua. Ooh, the like change in the quality. Oh my God, sir. Why? No one should look that good. Just like sitting at a pile of discarded tires, right? If you had explained that to me, I'd be like, no. And yet here we are. Whoa, that's cool. The color coming in. Leave me alone. It's cool, like looking up at them again on a pedestal. You have this like light box on display. Ooh, interesting. Again, like looking up at them, having them on this pedestal, having them in those boxes that are like lit up, right? Like they're like a display case. Again, going into like them being an idol and all of that, being watched with like the film and all of that. And then having the shadows with the I don't want it at all. And you can see like shadows definitely have had imagery of talking about like shadow or like shadow selves and like Jungian psychology and all of that. Interesting. Interesting, have them all turning inward to each other as well. Very interesting. Like I was saying, like having them all turning inward towards each other at the end, right? Like they're all huddled together. So like at least they have each other regardless of what might be going on. Or even like they had the like 17 symbol with the like tables. And I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Sungwon, but like in the center, right? So like being, I don't know, protected or guarded on the sides by like 17, like the symbolism of that, regardless of what might be going on, regardless of what people might be saying about them or like what opinions might be happening externally, they're focused in on each other and being together and who they are with each other as opposed to anything else. I feel like we can all agree that 17 are some of the most like genuine idols out there. Like they definitely have a very candid way of just like being performers and watching them doing variety content and all of that, right? There's a certain kind of mask off for a lot of their stuff, but that doesn't mean again that they aren't put on a pedestal and have certain expectations and used as these idols, these people to look up to, these like displays, right? And like I was saying, the moment that they start to do things that are like very human, suddenly they're a bad influence, right? Like suddenly they're judged for just like doing normal average things. It's like, I'm not doing anything to influence someone to do something else. People already do these things, right? Like people are already doing these normal things. And I also do it because I'm also just a person. At the end of the day, take away any of the fame that they've had over the years. They're just people. So I think it's really interesting, especially again, bringing in this like very high fashion, very like aesthetic based video for this as well, and like very monochrome for a lot of it, right? Black and white, and then bringing in those elements of like color every once in a while, but very curated, which I think is also interesting given the content of the song itself. Really interesting song. I don't know if it's really like within my style, but I think that it really fits with the concept that they're going for of something that is like very much outside of the box of what 17 is known for or like what to expect from them. I think that it also fits really well with the concept of this of being a bad influence and again like stepping outside of what is kind of like a polished K-pop idol group kind of song, right? And stepping into something else and leaning into being a bit of a villain arc of like, all right, I'm going to do something that's a little bit outside and be the monster, right? I compared it in Thunder to like Frankenstein's monster and reviving yourself so that you can be in this different persona, right? So I think that it's interesting within what I think this album is going to be. Obviously, I haven't listened to the whole album yet. Okay, I know, I'm sorry, but I got to make videos and they're a little bit more involved than me just listening to it. I got to put it in my schedule to actually get to it. But I think that this is very much within the darker side, and I think that it's darker than we've gotten from them, even though they've done darker concepts before, even like Maestro, right? A bit of a darker concept, but I think that it definitely fit a little bit more into what we expect from 17. It was a little bit outside of the box, but I don't think that it deviated quite as much. This one feels a little bit like it's stepping outside of a song kind of structure that we usually associate, let alone with a pop song structure. I think that it's a really interesting addition to the story that they're putting together with this album and this comeback. It just makes me more intrigued to see what else this album has. I know that we got all the solos and stuff like that, which is also going to be fun to go through, but I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with you. You can click this playlist to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to this next time I post a 17 reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.